Did you know that a pair of rain boots has probably traveled more miles inside a factory than you'll walk in them in a year? Well, okay, that might be a stretch, but there's a lot more to rain boots than meets the eye. What starts as a gooey pile of rubber transforms into something strong, waterproof, and stylish enough for you to stomp through puddles with confidence. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the making of rubber boots, aka your ultimate rainy day sidekick. This isn't just a walkthrough, it's a boot walkthrough. So stay with us, because by the end, you'll know more about these boots than most people know about their own shoes. And before we boot to it, do us a favor, tap that subscribe button and join our community. You'll get the best behind the scenes factory stories and industry secrets, rain or shine. Step 1. The birth of rubber, tapping the trees. Rain boots were initially created from the latex-rich rubber tree. Most rubber boots come from natural rubber through extracting latex from rubber trees, just like we extract maple syrup. Instead, however, of waking up with a plate of sugary pancakes in the morning, you're cooking the beginnings of a rainproof warrior. The latex sap is then harvested and carried to factories where it's blended with other chemicals. This sap is in fact as soft as liquid rubber, and this allows it to be ready for some substantial changes when it gets to the factory. You may be surprised, but natural rubber is one of the most elastic materials on the planet. This elasticity is what makes rubber boots able to bend and flex without tearing, making it perfect for walking, jumping, and good for puddle hopping too. Step 2. Rubber recipe magic. Mixing ingredients in the Banbury mixer. Now we have latex sap, however, pure rubber is too soft to withstand day-to-day usage most of the time. Hence it's fed in a Banbury mixer, which despite sounding like equipment probably in the baking industry, it's nothing close to that. This mixer entails the natural latex together with other elements ranging from sulfur, which makes latex harder, accelerators and activators which expedite the curing period of the rubber, to antioxidants that will not enable the rubber to crack at some point. You know how you would make a smoothie with bananas and berries and protein powder and blend it into a paste? Except it isn't a fruit smoothie, it's a tubing industry smoothie. The machine mixes, pummels, and slaps the paste and liquids together to form a gummy rubber dough appropriate for rolling. This process evens out the materials so that your rain boots will not have areas of low integrity that will let water in. What if the Banbury mixer is the factory's floor's version of the Channel 4's Iron Chef, mixing the rubber blend for long-lasting and comfortable tennis shoes? Many rainy boots today use ethically sourced natural rubber to keep things green. Some factories even follow sustainable practices by replanting rubber trees or using recycled materials for certain parts of the boots. This means when you splash in puddles, you can feel good knowing your boots are eco-conscious. Step 3. The Calender machine, turning dough into sheets. Once the rubber is perfectly mixed, it's time to roll it out. Enter the Calender machine, a series of giant rollers that squeeze the rubber into long, flat sheets. This isn't your grandma's rolling pin though. These rollers can be as big as a car. They flatten the rubber into the perfect thickness for boot making, which is usually 2 to 4 millimeters. Ever wonder why boots are so smooth? It's thanks to the Calender machine, which presses out every single air bubble, leaving the rubber surface completely flawless and ready for action. These rubber sheets are rolled up like a carpet and stored until it's time for cutting and molding. Imagine a warehouse full of giant rubber rolls. It's like a rain boot paradise, just waiting to take shape. Ever thought about how temperature and humidity affect rubber? Factories keep the environment precisely controlled to ensure the rubber doesn't become brittle or sticky during production. The humidity helps maintain the rubber's elasticity, while temperature control keeps the rubber from overheating during mixing and molding. Without these settings, your rain boots could end up stiff or crumbly before they're even packed. Step 4. Cutting the boot parts. Scissors not required. When it's finally time to shape the boots, the rubber sheets are brought to the cutting station. Using large automated cutters, the factory team slices the rubber sheets into pieces for each part of the boot: the sole, the upper, the shaft, and even the toe cap. Each piece is precisely measured and cut to fit perfectly, ensuring a strong, waterproof seal when assembled. Here's where things get specific. Rain boots aren't one size fits all, so factories use different molds for different sizes and styles. If they're making a kid's boot versus an adult boot, the rubber pieces and molds are adjusted accordingly. Here's a little cutting joke, if I may. Why did the rubber sheet go to school? To get a little cutting-edge education. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I think I should cut it out. All right, I mean stop. Step 5. Molding the boot, shaping the sole mates. This is where things get intense. Each rubber piece is heated and pressured into a mold that gives it the shape of a boot. The molds are like giant waffle irons, except they're creating rain boots instead of waffles. High temperature and intense pressure work together to cure the rubber, a process that makes it more durable and waterproof. The boot molds are precisely crafted to include details like the boot's tread pattern, logo placement, and even decorative elements. At this stage, the rubber is soft and flexible enough to take on any design, allowing each boot to stand out. Did you know that the process of curing rubber to make it more durable is called vulcanization, named after the Roman god of fire? This step is crucial for making sure your rain boots can handle water, mud, and anything else you throw at them. Step 6. Joining the upper and sole, where it all comes together. The upper part of the boot and the sole are finally joined together. This isn't your typical shoe stitching process. Instead, the two parts are fused with heat and pressure, creating a watertight seal that will keep your feet dry no matter how wet conditions get. Some factories also use special adhesives for adding waterproofing. This fusion process is what makes rain boots truly unique from sneakers or leather shoes. There are no gaps, no seams, just one solid piece of rubber armor for your feet. Ever notice how your rain boots have a textured grip on the bottom? That's called a tread pattern. Treads are specifically designed for slippery conditions so you don't slide around like a penguin on an ice rink. It's all in the details. Liking what you see so far? Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on the best behind the scenes content. We've got a lot more cool factory tours and secrets coming your way. Step 7. Adding color and patterns, making the boots stand out. Once the boots are molded, it's time to add some personality. This is where colors, stripes, and fun patterns come in. Some rain boots are sprayed with color, while others have dye mixed right into the rubber compound for a more durable finish. Some brands even create limited edition prints, featuring everything from polka dots to superhero designs. Have you seen those glow-in-the-dark rain boots? Yeah, they're real. For these, a special phosphorescent dye is added so they'll light up in the dark, perfect for nighttime puddle splashing. Here's the mind-blowing fact you probably didn't see coming. Rubber boots as we know them have a deep connection to war. Back in World War I, soldiers in the trenches desperately needed durable, waterproof footwear to protect them from the cold, muddy conditions. In response, factories ramped up production of rubber boots for military use, creating the first mass-produced rain boots. So the next time you pull on a pair, remember you're wearing a descendant of military-grade boots that help soldiers survive the harshest conditions. Step 8. Quality testing, the final exam for every boot. Before the boots can step out of the factory, they undergo rigorous testing to make sure they can stand up to the elements. Quality control experts test each pair for leaks, durability, and comfort. They flex the rubber, stretch it, dunk the boots in water, and even test for slip resistance on wet surfaces. Why all the tests? Simple. A single tiny hole or weak spot could turn your boots into water magnets. Factories go to extreme lengths to ensure that every boot is waterproof and up to standard. And if the boots don't pass the test, they're sent back to the drawing board. Because when it comes to rain boots, almost waterproof just doesn't cut it. So yeah, rain boots face some serious boot camp tests. Anyways, special machines simulate hours of walking to test for wear and tear, on the soles and heel. This is like a treadmill on steroids for rain boots. Each pair is stomped, stretched, twisted, and bent repeatedly to make sure they can handle whatever terrain you take them through, from muddy fields to city streets. If you're impressed by this process, hit that subscribe button. Come on, we've got more incredible factory tours, stories, and fun facts lined up, and you won't want to miss any of it. Step 9. Polishing and sealing. The final touch. Once the boots pass quality control, they go through one last step: sealing and polishing. The boots are given a sheen that also serves to prevent dirt and dust from sticking to the surface of the boots. It also shields the rubber material from decaying after sometimes making the boots look as good as new for a long time. This part is important as rubber is a material that cracks when not lubricated or damages due to light exposure. Therefore, the polish is not only aesthetic, functional as well. Each pair of rain boots goes through multiple hands: engineers, technicians, designers, and quality control specialists who work together to perfect every pair. In fact, some factories give each worker a unique stamp to mark the boots they helped create. Think of it like an artist signing their masterpiece. Step 10. Packing it all up, ready for adventure. Finally, each pair of boots is packaged up, ready to ship to stores or directly to your doorstep. Sometimes they're packed with silica gel packs to keep moisture at bay during storage and transport. Each box is packed with care, so the next time you open a fresh pair of rain boots, remember that they've been through a journey to keep your feet dry. Factories are becoming creative with packaging. Some brands now use recycled or biodegradable boxes, and they include moisture-wicking packs, which are sometimes reusable to keep the boots fresh. This keeps the boots in mint condition while also contributing to a lower environmental footprint. Well, if you're getting bored by all the knowledge and science stuff, here's another joke I just thought of, alright? Why did the rubber boots cross the road? Okay, I forgot the punchline. I guess not everyone is made for comedy, but at least now we know how rubber boots are made. So there you have it, every step in the journey from rubber sheet to stylish rainproof boot. From the rubber trees to your feet, every stage in the boot making process has been crafted to give you the best protection from the rain. So next time you pull on your rain boots, you can appreciate the science, the craftsmanship, and yes, the absurd lengths we go to keep you dry and stylish. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Keep your eyes on our channel for more fascinating factory tours and the stories behind everyday items. Until next time, keep splashing.